but no, that's actually the best part about these lands, right? The teams can see one another.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. And you can hear the cheers that are coming in now. They are hyping themselves up. They are going to get ready for round one. This is going to be Bermuda.
Mr. Wagger breaking a quick move before we kick off match number one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're at home, make some noise in the comment section as we kick off match number one. This flight path is going to be taking us from Riverside all the way down towards Rimnam Village, which means to open up the Free Fire World Series, we've got the whole map of Bermuda playable.
Yeah, it's playable. Again, very different for some of the leagues, right? You're going in with, normally it's 12 teams, but the play-ins tends to be a little bit shorter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, smaller, excuse me. They have 9 teams that are going in this one. This is a lot more space. Now, are we going to get into situations where people are hot dropping into one another just to kind of start things off? Is that where you want to be, especially to start this play-ins?
That is what I think is going to happen. I anticipated a hot drop at Clock Tower between INF as well as EVOS Phoenix, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. Expand takes over the Clock Tower, so good on them. And it doesn't seem to be like LGDS has found themselves a good spot, because they were aiming for peak, and halfway through, they've changed their mind, trying to fly away towards Pochinok. But guess what? The Magic Squad's already there.
Already starting it, right? This is where you want to be. But okay, EVOS Phoenix here, there's a lot of pressure on them. Yes, you think you have a home crowd advantage, but at the same time, you got more eyes, more of your brotherhood, basically, that are kind of looking at you, seeing what you're going to be able to do, right? Getting to that next level. It's also very nerve-wracking, especially for that first game. Settle down, calm down, take deep breaths, make sure that you're playing the game that you want to play.
Naguara. They've got one player out in the open. Faku tagged up by Moshi. Just a couple of more shots. Maxi down on the ground as well. Naguara biting the dust super early. And we did see yet another player around EVOS TH. Faku very low on HP, and it doesn't look like the guy even has a medkit on him. This is going to be a little troublesome for the squad. LGDS with 2 players down on the ground as well. Bruce and Roro needs to get out of there.
Yeah, LGDS, not a great start. This is not what you want to do. They run into Magic, and Magic right here, Drax, again, he's an amazing player. He's able to hit his shots, and he's also got Yuan on this, drawing a beat on him. Yeah, he's kind of like limping around. He's knocked down on that bridge, doesn't really have a whole lot of space. Drax just wants to clean him up, make sure he secures that elimination, and he will get that double kill.
The Master Wizards making the spell work in their favor. 2 elimination points already, and they are off to a great start. They can take over Mars Electric and Factory as well if they wanted to. Starting things off at Pochinok, and all the MGS squad has done so far is dominate all 3 of those sectors. We move on forward towards LGDS as well to get a quick update on them. Both LGDS as well as Naguara both running towards Sentosa. This is going to be chaos for Naguara because they only have 2 guys on their side.
Yeah, they only have 2. I think they had 3. So they have Faku as well. So, I mean, they have 3 members here. LGDS have 3 members as well. But again, let's talk a little bit about LGDS. This is a team that in the Free Fire World Series 2019, they got 4th place. They had a very commendable showing.
Yeah.
But ever since then, and yes, they've made every single Free Fire World Series. They are one of the veteran teams, but they got, 14th place in this year's World Series. They got 12th in last year's, and they just have not been able to follow that up with success.
Yeah, man. I mean, the best run that they've had at the World Series was back in 2019, where they secured that 4th placement. But that was when Free Fire wasn't as big as what it is today. They haven't been able to grow with alongside the rest of their competition. They've fallen back, but perhaps this year, perhaps this event at Bangkok, Thailand is when we will see LGDS rise back up to their prime spot. Now, NG has been brought back into the equation already. LGDS does have Sentosa to play around with, but that circle is closing in already, so they've got to get a move on.
Yeah, LGDS here, it's so weird because every single member of their team, at least in the Taiwan League, was averaging over 2 kills. You know what I mean? It's like they can kill everybody else, but they can't seem to, transfer that success onto the international stage. They haven't been able to do that. If you're looking at more of like what EVOS Phoenix, Enigma Galaxy, Attack All Around, all the Thai teams, yes, they have the meta. Yes, they're very strong, but they've been able to kind of impose their game on the international opponents.
Yeah, the undying EVOS Phoenix. This year has been quite a challenging year for them, with the appearance of Enigma Galaxy within their server, with the appearance of Enigma Galaxy trying to take over Thailand by force. EVOS Phoenix now is the 2nd-seeded team of the nation. Who would have thought, man? EVOS Phoenix is one of the oldest teams within the Thailand region. And to think that Nigma Galaxy could just show up this year and take over the whole scene by storm, that was unexpected, Holla.
Unexpected. That team is just, and we'll talk a little bit more about them tomorrow, but they are a newly formed team. They've kind of hit their ground running in terms of what they've been doing. But let me talk a little bit about Attack All Around, because I'm sure the viewers are like, hey, they won the last World Series. Where are they, right? But what happened was they had a great regular season. They finished second, but in the grand finals, pretty much every single team were targeting them. They couldn't get any momentum going, and they finished a disappointing 9th place. That is a travesty. This is the home ground. You have a World Series in your country, and you're not able to attend as the previous winner? That's kind of an insult to injury.
I mean, it must hurt, man. But you have to keep up with the competition. You cannot just think that just because you dominated in a single year, you can rest on your laurels and be able to do the exact same thing in the future. Because what you do every single time you win out there on the Free Fire world stage is inspire the rest of the survivors out there throughout the whole world. You show them that it is possible. Everybody wants a piece of that pie that you've eaten already. And if you don't buck up, if you don't step up your gameplay, you are going to lose your spot. Unfortunate for AAA. That was the situation they had to end up in before we ended up in Bangkok.
All right, come on, man. I just want to rest on my laurels. You won't let me do that? Is that what you're saying? No, but okay. Let's talk a little bit about...
Not today. Not today.
Not today, sir. Got it. Okay, but let's talk about the MENA team here. This is going to be Infinity VX. This is one of the weirdest teams because I really don't know how to judge their success because they're kind of... Nobody really expected this team to actually make it to the play-ins. It was one of those situations where they just turned it on at the right moment. They made sure that they got into the grand finals. I mean, yes, they're in the play-ins right now, but this is a team that, not many teams were expecting to be here.
Yeah, it's the first time they're ever in the World Series. They are the new kids on the block for MENA. And here's the surprising thing about them. They play usually super slow. Nobody was expecting them to go anywhere because they weren't really hard-hitting during their league stage. But at the grand finals is where we saw them just evolve into a monster that was just chomping down on all of the other squads. Infinity VX might just be able to do that here today, but there's no league stage for you to get comfortable. And as I talk about them, the danger zone goes looking for them. Is that a sign, Holla?
Oh, I don't know if it's a sign, but they do need to kind of move, make sure they get to safety there. I mean, they're right in the center right there, so I think late game they're in a pretty decent spot. But if you're looking at Evos, Phoenix, they're looking with Naguara. They're on the other side. Okay, that fight is generally going in. Brand is going to have to run in. They're going to regrouping. But one thing that I've noticed, at least with this play-ins, is that the teams are playing very well coordinated. They're sticking together. There's no solo, commandos running around.
I told myself I'm not going to say anything mean at all during the Free Fire World Series, but I have got doubts on the rotation by Naguara. They are keeping a distance away from EVOS Phoenix, though. I like this, but EVOS Phoenix, they do have that high ground advantage, and it looks like EVOS Phoenix has managed to dodge away, hide their heads, and Naguara are running straight into this trap. EVOS Phoenix, the thighs are about to eat them alive. Yekol down with a double glue wall just to protect himself. The rest of the players, they flank around from the right, and God Cruz has got the AC-80 in his hands. Needs to take that double shot. Ice grenade will move him away from his defense. He responds with a grenade instead. Has got the UMP in hand. Faku drops by to say hello, and God Cruz backs away.
Oh, he's backing away. He's going to heal himself. He's going to be fine for now, but this is so close. This is a bit of 50-50. Both teams are in great position right now. Joanna's trying to go for the
Brad, what a shot, but he gets taken down. Faku strikes. Maxi takes Moshi as well, and it looks like the Thai Giants are eliminated in the 9th spot. What an upset on home ground.
Oh my gosh, this is a huge upset there. Naguara, everyone was saying that this is a team to look out for. This is a dark horse that's going in, and they've already started off with a banger. Eliminated Evo Sports. Phoenix, 9th position. This is an absolute travesty. This was the clear favorite going into the play-ins today, and seeing that they're already eliminated in the 9-minute mark, this is going to speak volumes for the rest of the play-ins.
They lost Chamos, Naguara. They are absolutely killing it out there on the battlefield, representing the Latin American region and doing them proud. INF, on the other hand, they have to be really careful here because they have managed to avoid a lot of those engagements in the earlier game. How are they going to fare as they try to move on deeper into the circle a little bit later on? LGDS has been trying to do the exact same play here when they lost Yuan as well as NG. SMG. They brought them back in successfully, only to lose Roro. This team has been on the back foot since we started off this match.
Back foot. This is a bit of a situation for them. They're down low in numbers, but now it's all about positioning. They need to play safe. They stick together, try not to get into any skirmishes. Maybe you look to third party, get a little bit lucky with that. They need to stay alive. That's the biggest thing for them. LGDS, they've kind of lost their arm going into this fight.
Yeah, they lost their arm, but let's see if or not. You can work like a salamander, grow it right back. RRQ Kazu. I know I caught you off guard with that one. I mean, you can revive your players, man. I mean, it is possible. Magic Squad, RRQ Kazu. This might just be the next battle that we are waiting for. Bhima Sakti Strip down in the middle of this next circle stands RRQ Kazu. Magic Squad doesn't really need to move, but expand as they rotate in from Clock Tower. Magic Squad trying to tag them up already. Now, that's not the kind of game plan I would have called for Magic Squad, because Expand has a lot of time to rotate around long to get into the circle instead of running straight towards them. If at all Magic Squad had just waited a few more seconds, they would have caught Expand with their pants down.
Yeah, it's all about patience in that case. I mean, Expand had no idea Magic was there, but at the same time, Magic Squad are like, hey, this is our building. We're going to fortify this end. You want to come around? No, you need to take the long way around. Make sure that you're, getting away from them. Magic Squad, they do have 3 kills. Pretty good positioning as well on the edge of the circle. Great spot to be in at the 11-minute mark. We need to see more of that. But Magic Squad, again, I think they were just a little impatient. It's trigger happy. You see something moving, you just fire at it.
Yeah, I mean, the Brazilians obviously are very excited for the play-ins, but they have to just be a little bit more patient when it comes to those engagements, because you want to secure those eliminations for yourself. Every single point matters. Talking about points, Naguara sits down at the top with 4 eliminations to their name. The elimination leader of the lobby so far.
Yeah, eliminate. I mean, I feel like they should get double points for eliminating Evo's Phoenix. Like I'm sure every other team. I mean, yes, they don't know who has died at the end of the day, but it's one of those things where if they knew Evo's Phoenix was out of this, they would feel much better.
INF, Team Flash. This is a fight that has to break down. But do we have any grenades in the hands of INF? I know it is Gatel who has got 2 in his hands, and also the grenade launcher in the hands of Gatel. Gatel can be the biggest of difference maker. Woodpecker in the hands of Nastas. He needs to tag those players up first, but the question is, will we see INF get super cheeky? Because if Shin can get a good nade and take down Gatel first, this will be the saving grace for Team Flash.
Yeah, Infinity VX, though, they will eventually have to move, so Team Flash doesn't have to go, they don't need to be aggressive, they don't need to get out of position. At the end of the day, the circle is going to go through them, so they can just kind of just lock it down. As I say this, look at Drax, another knockdown onto LGDS, focusing the attention on there.
It looks like Bruce is going to be the next one on the menu for the players of Naguara, who are on fire, literally right there on the battlefield. And LGDS, they are going to get eaten up by the circle. Bruce is going to get tagged up by the blue zone as well, which is going to give Naguara the advantage. Bruce has to run straight towards them. But even if that does not happen, look at Magic Squad rotating in deep into the circle. Axel down on the ground, I believe. And Anas, this is the players from the side of Hotshot Esports, taking those hot shots against them. Question is, can Expand survive this and rotate deeper in? They are stuck. They have to fight Hotshot right now.
They need to stay alive. That's the biggest thing. They've got kind of caught right here. Hotshot Esports with a nice ambush, good angles. That's what you want to do as a team. Make sure that you just kind of focus it on. Expand have not been able to get away. They're kind of stuck outside. There's not a whole lot of cover on that end. It's going to be difficult. Now, if we look back to Infinity VX, yes, they have 0 eliminations, but this is a good situation where Team Flash have run back more into the circle. They're playing it a little bit safer. They're looking for the late game.
Flash has got a grenade launcher in hand as well. Question is, who's gonna pop this first, man? Grenade launcher versus grenade launcher. Things are about to get messy, but both teams are keeping it for the final circle. Question is, my friend, are you gonna survive until the final circle? As Yanbin drops Zika, Hotshot Esports meets a player that they were not expecting. They pick him up instantaneously, but all of the players are tagged up already. Low in HP. RRQ Kazu might just drop by for the finisher.
Oh, Hotshot Esports, all of them so low, and they're stuck between these glue walls. That crate is actually blocking the doorway, so they can't get into the building. So they're kind of stuck out in the open right here. But, Expand here. They see this. This is a great opportunity to third party.
RRQ, Pac-Man. This is the shield gun in his hand. And the players of Hotshot They're playing this patiently. Expand closer in towards that final circle. Shin goes down too fast, gets the knock, but Wolfpacker does not secure the elimination just yet. Brand gets a knock, and the kill stolen away by Abdu. Elimination point to the side of INF. And that's how you gotta be quick out there on the battlefield. Pac-Man drops one too fast down on the ground as well, but BO still finds a way to revive two of his players.
Cobra, Axel, both very low. There's the only two members left from Expand. Axel's just been knocked. Cobra's all by himself. He's just like, I'm a bush. If I don't move, they can't see me, right?
I mean, only to the eyes of a noob, I guess. The pros see everything, man. They've got the third eye open as well. Grenade launcher for the pop, but Razor does not get the first shot. Charge Buster in hand as well. Needs to wait for the timing. Pac-Man, one good nade by Legoloth, can secure the knock, but Sergeant backs away. That tags him up just a tad little bit. Legoloth has got that grenade launcher and 5 grenades in hand. This guy can be the grenadier of the match as long as those shots connect.
Oh, just barely off the mark with that grenade. I mean, yeah, he's alive, but Magic Squad, 6 kills all by Drax. Is he just being greedy at this point? I'm not sure. He's got a 7th one. Rack him up because he's got another one, but X-Man has just been eliminated. 7.
Infinity VX on a roll out there. Nasdaz finally managed to get a knock as well. RRQ Kazu popping off, and the M79 getting a couple of hots for themselves as well. Can we see yet another grenade launcher shot? Italo, Max 7, Maxi goes down. Brad goes down as well. Out of nowhere, Naguara struggle as the Magic Squad survive.
Naguara completely eliminated. They were eliminated 6th here. Magic Squad, they did take some damage on that one. GU will be picked up here. Drax is still alive, but he's got 9 kills. Who's going to kill this guy?
Shin down on the ground, and it is secured by Legoloth. And RRQ Kazu with 10 eliminations to their name. They're looking for that Booyah as well. And Magic Squad stands right in front of them. They've got that high ground advantage, but Razor, AWM in hand. He's flanking from that right-hand side. Baby! With a double, and it's Legoloth with the M79 launcher, which secures the first Booyah of the day.
RRQ Kazu, a heavyweight, a favorite going into this one. The Indonesian squad is just on another level right here.
Yeah.
I think they had close to 12 kills. They were cleaning it up. Mind you, I think they had 1 kill at the 13-minute mark, and all of a sudden, all the fights were happening, and they were just cleaning house.
This is a veteran squad from Indonesia that hasn't really shown up big in the past. They've been in the world of Free Fire for the longest of time now, but they are hitting their beast mode this year. Hitting that beast mode allowed to get them to the play-ins, and that same beast mode gets them the very first Booyah of the day. What a play. And they had more than 10 eliminations before even hitting that Booyah. That's massive for your first round.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And we're going to see that, but I mean, let's just check out the highlights for this game.
And of course, we did talk about...
Double kill.
Even before jumping on into the matchup, we already saw Legoloth's screen as well as all of the stats that he has picked up so far. And where this guy excels was the damage part. And we talked about how the M79 launcher was his secret weapon. Lo and behold, he whips it out in the plains as well for the first matchup of the day. And that is the weapon that secures them the double towards the very end. Legoloth is on fire. And I am just wondering, can he keep up this sort of a pace for himself?
It's a marathon, not a race, not a sprint, right? There's plenty of opportunities to get yourself back into it. Mind you, this is a great start for RQ. If you're going to have one good game, or like you want to start the plans, this is how you want to start it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, massive on the side of eliminations. You get the Booyah as well. And I think they've managed to pick up the most number of points on both of those lanes, and nobody else had anything on them. Expand got caught out very, very early on. Hotshot managed to finish them off, but even Hotshot couldn't get any luckier after that, as they were caught out in the open.
Yeah, definitely so. But let's look a little bit at the match standings. This is, of course, the first one, but that monster came by RRQ Kazu. 12 points, 12 elims, 24 points. Hello to RRQ Kazu. Magic Squad with 19. That's a pretty good number for them in number 2.
Very good number for them. They sprinkled their pixie dust on everyone except RRQ. I guess the boys were just a little bit too far away. But Naguara was the squad that started things off hot. This was the team that eliminated EWOS Phoenix in the 9th spot. But look at EWOS Phoenix, man, with their own eliminations, managed to bump themselves up to the 8th spot, thankfully. Team Flash in the 4th place with 11 for themselves, and Infinity VX with a total of 8 and 2 eliminations, 6 placement points. Guarantees that Infinity VX is not going to get left behind just yet.
Definitely not. I mean, they still have a chance, of course, very, very early, all of those things, right? But LGDES, I think we started with this one. They probably needed to have a better start than that. They need to be a little bit cleaner going into this one. Getting 2 people down is just really rough. But let's talk a little bit about the MVP of that last match.
MVP of the last match, the one and only Legolas with the M79, the damage dealer, the eliminator of RRQ Kazu. You want to bring this weapon onto that battlefield. You want to have that weapon for that final battle for sure. And we saw the patience, we saw the trigger discipline from not just Legolas, but many teams out there who did have the M79 but refused to use it until it was truly needed. But a lot of the other teams bagged out a little bit too early without even bringing it out.
Yeah, they were sticking too close together, but this is going to be the top players of that first one. 9 elims from Drax 7.
Woo!
We talked about them. The player to watch. The second player to watch we also talked about was Legolas with 6 eliminations. I mean, the M79, he's just an amazing, a sniper with that thing. And of course, Maxi with 4 eliminations. That's pretty commendable too.
Yeah, everybody loves the AC-80, man. You take a double shot towards the head, that's an immediate down for you. And everybody loves to engage a little bit longer in terms of range before you get up close and personal. Then you whip out that little Charge Buster or the Mag 7. But Yanbin, the glue wall master, 11 director, he tried his best to survive for Team Flash, but unfortunately they had to meet an M79 of their own. And Faku, Homer, and the times he got hit was the total of 4. This guy was a total radical player out there on the battlefield, tagging up everyone he saw.
Definitely helping the team, supporting as much as can. I mean, it's not all about the eliminations that you can get, but as I say that, Drax 7, this is another way is just get eliminations. Get headshots, got 5. Mind you, this guy has I think a 20% accuracy rate for the headshot, so this is actually quite high, especially for game 1, where he was on, he's warmed up, he's ready to go. But Maxi from Naguara, Assist King 3, you got to have those guys that can help do the damage so that your team can kind of clean things up.
And, Maxi was amazing at that, right? Continuously tagging players left, right, center. He had players like Faku to back him up to take those elimination points for himself, but he himself did manage to do a lot of damage so that the rest of his team members could continue to move forth towards that final circle. Positioning is all what it's about. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's the end of Bermuda. We've got another one coming up on Bermuda later on, but for now, we move on into the dry desert of Kalahari.
Kalahari, very hot, very open, a lot of elevation, very difficult map to play. Obviously, these teams are ready for it. They've played a ton on Kalahari, but playing it against the international stage where the strategies might be a little bit different is a whole nother ballgame.
Of course, we want to see exactly who takes spot on Refinery as well. It is a very well-known information that RRQ loves to play that spot. We want to see if or not they will continue holding on to it, or is it going to be a strategy where they back away and hop on off to a different point, because now they might just be the bullseye target for everybody else out there.
Yeah, it's definitely a bullseye. It's kind of wide out in the open. It's like everybody can see that, but at the same time, you can be standing on the top. You can kind of use that elevation to your advantage as well. Are you able to snipe the guys down? It comes down to the mechanical skill, of course, very high. Everybody's good here, but are you able to kind of make sure that you get those eliminations?
Everybody's a little too good, right? You cannot get caught out in the open. Goodbye, my friend. You are going to get taken out unless you can thank your lucky stars, because every single time you hop on out, the battlefield is clear, right? It may be the case very early on in that matchup, but closer and closer you get towards that final circle, it's a party in there.
Yeah, it's definitely a party. And I mean, again, this is going to be 9 teams going in. Kalahari is a lot bigger, right? It's one of those situations where there's going to be more open space, so that the 14, 15-minute marks in the games are probably going to be where most of the action is going to happen. but we're going to find out. That's going to be coming up soon, but the teams are kind of just preparing, making sure that they're ready for round 2 because that's going to be coming up. It's going to be super important that everybody's there, but let's first take a quick little break.